afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great pleasure to be present on this very important, I would say, milestone day when we are launching Girls in Tech India. And I'm also extremely happy that this launch is happening in Hyderabad and that Hyderabad will be the permanent headquarters for the India chapter. I would like to, at the very outset, congratulate Shri Divya for this initiative, and I hope that this movement, it is not just an institution or an organization. I really see it to have the potential of a movement, really becomes important, becomes very significant, and is talked about all over the world. Without really repeating what earlier speakers have said, I would like to present a 5-point agenda before Girls in Tech India. And I do hope that this agenda will be thought about, discussed, and some of it perhaps can also be brought into action. The first point is as follows. Now, we saw the data on girls in tech in India, that disproportionately fewer representation in schools, in colleges, in industry. But if we probe deeper into it, there are obviously reasons behind it. I mean, it's not just by chance that the girls' representation is so limited, so less. Obviously, at the bottom of it are prejudices, are mindsets, are attitudes. That there are certain areas which are not really suitable for girls, or girls really can't succeed in those areas. And as Michael also alluded, unless we sensitize the parents, unless we are able to bring about a change in their mindsets, we will continue to see this kind of a data for years to come. Now, bringing this kind of social change again requires very deep level engagement with the communities, etc., which immediately perhaps will not be within the bandwidth of Girls in Tech. But I do expect that they can contribute by, first of all, compiling the case studies of the few women or the few girls who have actually chosen to get into tech, who are in STEM studies, who are in tech-related jobs, and who have done well for themselves. So even that minuscule percentage, be it 11%, be it 7%, be it 5%, reflects some number of very, very motivated, very, very driven people. Perhaps the parents are motivated, the girls themselves are very passionate, they have decided to take that challenge. So let us document all these stories of those limited number of girls and women, and these can be of tremendous use in various platforms, perhaps created by the government, perhaps outside the government, to really go down to the community level and to really sensitize them. So this parent education, community education, which everyone has spoken about, can really be done effectively if we have solid examples of people around us. And we need not always give examples of people who are let us say the CEOs, etc., whose life appear to be completely unapproachable and unreplicable. Let us collect examples from people around us and find out what have been their struggles, how have their parents supported them against the prevailing social mores, social norms, and so on and so forth. The second point that I would like Girls in Tech to adopt is about girls who are already in schools. As we know, we are in a fortunate position today that the school enrollment is pretty high, both in Telangana as well as the country as a whole. Till class 10th, we see a large participation of school-going children who are actually in school, and there is very little difference between boys and girls. Till at least class 7th, the enrollment ratios between boys and girls is pretty much the same, and little bit of dropout is seen in girls beyond class 7th. Now, classes 8th, 9th, and 10th are very important points when important career decisions are taken. Some children are unfortunately withdrawn from the schooling process altogether, and a few who continue are perhaps discouraged to get into STEM and asked to take the so-called easier subjects like humanities and so on and so forth. So at 8th, 9th and 10th, I would expect Girls in Tech to create a very strong outreach program. Again, it may not be possible for them alone to reach out to each and every school, and there are 20,000 plus schools in Telangana alone. But if they can create a very compelling, case studies or material or presentations or documents, we can use that in other ways, perhaps within the schooling, the education system itself, in ensuring that these messages reach out to the children and to their parents at the right time when important critical decisions are being made. The third call to action is for girls who complete STEM and then who get into STEM and who are studying in colleges, etc. Now again they are confronted with two choices. Either they get into jobs or some of them decide to become entrepreneurs. Now the third call to action is to partner with two very innovative institutions of the government, which as on today exist only in our state, the state of Telangana. One is called TASK, the Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge, and the second is T-Hub. Now TASK, as many of you will be aware, works with colleges in the state and tries to provide the right kind of skills which are valued in the employment market. So the school or the college may be transacting a particular curriculum, but what may be required in the job market are perhaps a different kind of skills. So TASK fills up that gap by ensuring that whatever is required in the job market is actually delivered to the students. And T-Hub, of course, as most of you will be aware, is the largest incubator space in the country for technology-based platforms. Now today, both TASK and T-Hub, while they are doing great work, they don't have any particular focus on girls. So it's a very general kind of an approach that they follow. And I would expect Girls in Tech to bring that nuanced approach towards girls in particular in both these two institutions. So I will be very happy if this opportunity to partner with TASK and T-Hub are taken, and I'll be very happy to create that collaboration platform between Girls in Tech and these two institutions. The fourth suggestion on the agenda is that after completing their studies, the girls might choose to get into a job, or they may decide to become an entrepreneur. Now, whatever it is, we do realize and we do know that there are barriers thereafter also. In fact, Sheryl Sandberg, who is an advisor to the Global Girls in Tech, she herself has written about it, she has spoken about it, and we all know from experience that there is this glass ceiling which prevents girls from really rising to the top. The corner office can never be a girl. It always, the arrangement in a workplace is again so patriarchal that girls don't get the opportunity to break that glass ceiling. So I would also expect Girls in Tech to play the role of a watchdog. If you find that any kind of artificial barriers are getting created in the way of a girl in achieving her career progression or in becoming successful as an entrepreneur, we would be very happy to provide whatever legal and other support that is possible today to ensure that those barriers are challenged, those barriers are broken. But we need a watchdog-like agency to report these kind of incidents. So I would expect Girls in Tech to also play that role of a watchdog tomorrow to ensure that no girl who has the capability, who has the merit and talent faces any kind of these kind of hurdles and bottlenecks. And finally, the fifth call to agenda would be that whenever you do these kind of things, working with the parents or communities, reaching out to school children, that is girls in schools, working with girls who are in colleges, and working with professionals who are in either their own enterprises or who are with jobs, you will come across lots of examples, lots of instances, many of whom can be translated into policies. I mean, while you may come across these episodes or these incidents sporadically, but I'm sure many of such cases would be happening below the radar without our knowledge. And from all these interactions, from all these facilitation, ideas may come on how actually the government can write or rewrite policies which ensure that these things don't happen, and the way of a girl or a woman towards getting into tech, both in school, colleges and in jobs, becomes smooth, streamlined. So I would also expect lots of policy inputs from Girls in Tech. So these are 5 simple suggestions on working with the communities, on reaching out to school children, or on supporting girls in college, becoming a watchdog for girls who are in industry or enterprises, and finally providing policy inputs to the government in ensuring that what we today are striving to achieve tomorrow happens automatically without any hindrance. So once again, congratulations to the entire team of Girls in Tech, and I do hope that we'll be interacting much more frequently and learning and enriching each other's work. Thank you for inviting me here.